town of Cana in Galilee, Christians celebrate a Mass to commemorate Jesus' first miracle, and some couples renew their wedding vows. The 102nd World Day of Migrants and Refugees was celebrated on January the 17th. Christians from around the world gathered in Jaffa and in Jerusalem. In Jerusalem, Jews and Christians met at the Hebrew University, where a special guest, Monsignor Bruno Forte, spoke of hope, friendship and cooperation in the Judeo-Christian dialogue. A pilgrimage from America to the Holy Land with the theologian and writer Scott Hahn to discover the sacred places and experience the events depicted in the Bible. At the end of the year dedicated to the consecrated life, 6 young ladies professed their first vows in the congregation of Our Lady of Zion, Jerusalem. On the Sunday after Christ's baptism, there was a celebration in the sanctuary that commemorates Jesus' first miracle. Christian and religious gathered in the small church under the care of the Franciscans and remembered the miracle in which Jesus, at the request of his mother, turned water into wine.
Qui il miracolo di Cana indubbiamente era qualcosa che ha...
The miracle of Cana, which took place here, definitely impressed all those who witnessed it. But for us, it is also a sign of how God can work in our lives when we turn to Him with our requests, when we need His help. He can transform our lives completely.
Trovandosi nel bisogno il suo aiuto, e Lui può cambiare totalmente la nostra vita.
As customary on this day during the Eucharistic celebration, roses were distributed to couples as a sign of reconciliation.
I give it to my wife as a gift. We don't miss this day every year. When on this celebration, we come to Cana, to this church, and we attend the Mass here each year.
Upon completion of this act, the priests blessed the wedding rings and couples renewed their marriage vows. Today is a beautiful day. Let us give thanks to the Lord who came here and performed his first miracle. At the end of the Mass, Christian families and Franciscans were brought together by a sense of brotherhood. This event also recalled the wedding party and the intercession of Mary. In normal life, we lack wine, we lack food, and we lack joy. However, the presence of the Mother of Jesus as a mother in her divine motherhood, helps us to compensate for such scarcity. More than 2,000 years after Jesus' miracle at the wedding at Cana, the site continues to attract local Christians, also waiting for the miracles that today's families need.
We ask that our Lord Jesus Christ change the war in peace, to change our heart from terrorism, the same as many people now, they're using the terrorism and to kill other people, to live in peace and to save the life of the other.
We need to pray a lot so peace can come upon us, maybe someday.
Anyone can be loved as a child and feel at home. This is the wish and message of Pope Francis for the 2016 World Day of Migrants and Refugees, celebrated in churches on all continents on Sunday, January the 17th. Pope Francis's message has the following title: Migrants and Refugees Challenge Us. The response of the Gospel is mercy. The Holy Land responded by initiating the festivities, as usual, in the Latin parish of St. Anthony of Jaffa, near Tel Aviv. The World Day of Migrants and Refugees was instituted by Pope St. Pius X in 1914. but it crossed Italian borders to become an international celebration only around 2005. Since then, every second Sunday after the Epiphany, the World Day of Migrants and Refugees involves the Catholic Church throughout the world and, with gentle firmness, focuses on welcoming others.
We want to celebrate the diversity, the beauty, and of course pray that each one of these migrants, each one of these refugees will find a home in the church, because as Pope Francis says repeatedly, there is no special group in the church. We are all equal citizens in the church. We are all brothers and sisters of Jesus, and today is a day to celebrate their presence and to try and make sure that they really feel at home among us.
The Holy Land is a very special case since the number of Christian migrants and refugees is equal to that of the local faithful. Here, languages, colours and the different traditions mingle and coexist. Therefore, at Mass, we may witness the prayers of the faithful read by Filipinos or Lebanese, while we may listen to the songs performed by African choirs, Eritrea, Ethiopia and Nigeria. These are the most represented nations. During the festival, you may dance with the Indians of Sri Lanka or with the Romanians. This is a diversified community and each group has its own history.
There are two motives for coming to Israel. One is to find work. Coming from poverty, having to support family, they come to work, and they work very, very hard in conditions that are not simple, a lot of exploitation, a lot of loneliness and alienation, and very little rights. That's one group, migrants who come to work. Another group, very important, is migrants who come here as refugees. They are not recognized in Israel as refugees, but they come fleeing war, persecution and famine, political oppression like in Eritrea, and this is another important group of people for the church.
From Philippines. I moved here because I work as a caregiver, and I'm working in Ramat HaSharon, Israel. I feel it's so amazing because it's my dream to come here to Israel. But it's a good opportunity to come here to work for old people, for elderly, as a caregiver. So I'm blessed to be work here.
I don't feel free to live in my country, Nigeria, so that's why I come to live here in Israel. Yes, I hope that first of all in life, when you relax your mind, then you can work for whatever you need and whatever you want to get, then so that it will be okay. But when you are not relaxed, you can't get nothing. Yeah, so I have relaxed of mind, and I'm working towards of my life and the future of my family and my children.
We're Catholic, and our baby will be baptized today, and we're waiting for the right time, and that's it.
The important thing about all these communities is that in some of these communities are people who have been here for 10, 15, 20 and more than 20 years. And you saw the great number of children. Those children are born here. They are part and parcel of this country now, even though many of them have no status. They speak Hebrew, go to Hebrew-speaking schools, and we need to be very sensitive also to their catechetical formation and support as they live their lives in this society.
In Jerusalem, you experience the same reality in different modalities. On Sunday the 17th, the World Day of Migrants and Refugees was celebrated with a Mass in the Church of San Salvatore and was attended by people from many countries. The celebration included refreshments, dances and folk songs. As the world is shaken by dramatic attacks and inhumane acts of violence that want to deny the possibility of friendly coexistence, the unforeseen happens. Coexistence and mutual respect may seem impossible, but they can become a reality. In Jerusalem, a meeting brought together Jews and Christians at the 16th Brennick Meyer Verhan Annual Lecture at the Hebrew University. This year's special guest was Monsignor Bruno Forte, Archbishop of Chieti and Vasto in Italy, and the theme was Religious Leadership in Secular Society, the Pattern of Moses. The meeting was held on January the 12th, a few days before the visit of Pope Francis to the Synagogue of Rome, and reinforces the path of dialogue. The dialogue of recent years was guided by the Decalogue and has brought fruits of grace, especially in the development of mutual understanding and trust, says Monsignor Bruno Forte, remembering the road travelled since Nostra Aetate.
Io credo che la grande svolta in questo campo rappresentata da Nostra Aetate nel riferimento.
I believe that Nostra Aetate, which represents the big breakthrough in the field of dialogue with the Jewish people, yields its fruit in both the official dialogue of the Catholic Church with the chief rabbinate, as well as in opportunities like this academic one of tonight in the Hebrew University of Jerusalem, where Christians and Jews listen to each other with great respect and involvement, discovering first what deeply unites us, which is the historical revelation of the living God in the biblical tradition, and also fairly acknowledging what differentiates us.
Nella tradizione biblica e naturalmente riconoscendo con onestà anche ciò che ci differenzia.
Listening, respect, and involvement are essential to this dialogue, as well as the various obstacles and connecting elements. The faith of Jesus unites us. The faith in Jesus differentiates us from them, because for us Christians he is the Son of God made flesh, but this cannot prevent us from talking with them. A point of dialogue is our common faith in the Old Testament, as expressed during the meeting on the figure of Moses. Moses is an example of involvement in the service of people, an example of generosity and spirit of sacrifice. He was ready to dedicate his life for the common good. We need leaders who have these characteristics. The meeting was organized by INTAMS, International Academy for Marital Spirituality, founded in Belgium in 1989, and engaged in the dissemination of the intellectual and cultural heritage of Christianity.
I have started this institute with my husband in 2000. And in 2000 we are organizing an official lecture, but this is not the main thing. But our institute is mainly to have this intensive exchange between Judaism and Christianity, because Judaism is really our source. And it is our eldest brother, to say, and therefore we should understand each other better.
In Rome, the Institute brings together Christian and Jewish students willing to study Judaism and Christianity with professors from both sides, so that they can build a Jewish-Christian dialogue with concrete foundations. With the encouragement of Pope Francis, Monsignor Bruno Forte's wish for a closer and more authentic Jewish-Christian friendship is being realized.
Amazing grace, how sweet.
A flight of thousands of kilometers to the Holy Land with a few objects in the suitcase, a passport, a rosary, a raincoat. From January the 4th to the 14th, a group of more than 200 pilgrims from the United States mostly, but also from Canada, Australia, Africa and Bosnia, has retraced the streets of the Gospel under the guidance of well-known Catholic theologian and author Scott Hahn. Born in Pennsylvania in 1957, Hahn has been a pilgrimage guide for nearly 25 years, since 1986 when he converted to Catholicism from being a Protestant.
Well, first of all, the value of coming as a pilgrim to the Holy Land is that it makes the gospel come alive. Going all the way back to St. Jerome, who lived in Bethlehem, he described it as the fifth gospel. And it makes you realize that the stories of the four gospels took place here. The second thing I also think of is that as pilgrims who come to the Holy Land, this is the land of the Old Testament and the land of the New Testament. And you discover how the New Testament was concealed in the Old, and then the Old was revealed and fulfilled in the New. So you're learning all about the tribes of Israel. You're learning about Jesus, who comes from Judea. You travel from Galilee down south to Bethlehem and Jerusalem. And suddenly the whole Bible not only comes alive, but it comes together. And it doesn't just come together in the head. It comes together in the heart, so that you understand better, but you also pray better.
During their 9 days in the Holy Land, the group toured the main holy sites, concluding with a visit to Jerusalem. Here, under the guidance of the 12 priests available, they walked the Via Dolorosa and arrived at the Holy Sepulchre before sunrise. The next day, they met Father Pierbattista Pizzaballa, the custos of the Holy Land, at the custody.
I've always wanted to come, and then when I saw this trip opportunity available, I just started praying about it, and God made it possible. thrilled to be here. I just think it's wonderful. I think it's important for all Christians to visit the Holy Land, and it's just made all the things that I've believed my whole life just come alive.
Very blessed, in awe to come back to where Jesus died for us, because I never got all the graces from the first time and needed to know more about my faith. So I came a second time.
I think it's the ultimate thing. We have to come to just feel so close to the Lord, although we don't need to be here. We have the Eucharist and the Lord can just be with us. But it has been such an awesome experience.
Recently, people have said, oh, it's not safe, but it is. It's never been safe, if by safe you mean easy. The history of the Holy Land is the history of conflict, but it's also the history of divine protection and divine grace and discovery as well. So that's why wherever I go, whoever I talk to, I encourage them to pay really close attention to the Holy Spirit. Be open to saying yes to a pilgrimage. It changes your life. It changes the lives of your loved ones, and it really deepens your own faith in a way that is very hard to express.
With a simple sentence, these young ladies undertake an important commitment.
Yes, I am ready to accept this call.
They said yes to a life of poverty, celibacy, and obedience to God, and to the principles of the congregation to which they belong. The commitment was accompanied by a prayer.
Padre, envía sobre mí.
Father, send down your Spirit upon me, so that following Mary's example, I accept your word. Father, enkindle in me a response of love and faithfulness.
Una respuesta de amor y de fidelidad.
These 6 young ladies, formerly novices, professed their first vows in the community of Our Lady of Sion. They come from Guatemala, the Philippines, Egypt, and Brazil, and have spent 2 years in Jerusalem.
We studied, and also we went to our apostolic experience around Jerusalem, and some of us went to Poland and Egypt. And we are really grateful, and we glorify God for this day.
The commitment was made on an important day, the last day of the year of consecrated life instituted by Pope Francis. The year began on November the 30th, 2014 and will end on February the 2nd, 2016.
Having waited 5 years to see all our achievements completed in the year consecrated to religious life is a blessing from God. It is like a miracle.
For the congregation, we would join like other congregations in celebrating religious life and celebrating consecrated life and the importance of all the charisms of religious life in the church.
When he organized a year dedicated to the consecrated people, Pope Francis said he expected each religious to look at the history of their religious institution with gratitude, to live the present with enthusiasm, and to embrace the future with hope.
Os diversos carismas das diversas congregações.
The different charisms of the various congregations, religious institutions, and historical orders give more life to the Church. We bring the Church to places where the secular clergy cannot go. Therefore, I think that religious life in the Church is of vital importance.
Penso que é de vital importância a vida religiosa dentro da igreja.
In the apostolic letter written on the occasion of the opening of the year of consecrated life, the Holy Father also highlighted the necessity of witness. He said that the life of every consecrated person should be an example for others, a life that reveals the joy and beauty of living the gospel and following Christ.
Terra Santa News is a production of the Christian Media Center in Jerusalem, Holy Land. For more information about Terra Santa News and the Christian Media Center, please check out our website at the bottom of the screen. You'll also be able to subscribe to our newsletter, to view live video feeds from the Holy Land, as well as visit our Facebook and YouTube pages and follow our Twitter feed. Come visit the website of Terra Santa News.